last year, some of the things that really kind of made that difference with regards to my running. So anyways, I'm putting that in today's video. I think you'll find it very helpful, very useful. And I think that, the last tip, there's going to be about 6 or 7 tips. The last one, I think, is probably the most important one. So you want to stick around to the end. Hey everyone, what's shaking? What's going on? My name's David. You all know this is my channel. It's the Plant Powered Runner, and I'm literally in my car. I've got about 15 minutes before my next appointment, but I'm answering your questions, right? I got my laptop. I'm answering your questions. I am doing everything I can to make sure that I stay on track with you guys. I have to admit, though, I have not been very good this week with regards to my running. I have not been out very much. I think I've been out one day. It's been a little challenging, and I'm coming up with excuses, and that's not me. But again, I'm just being transparent. Why I should run, using heart rate as a matrix. What is so hard about running at this method? The frustrations that people have at running at a low heart rate, the benefits that people get, and the questions keep coming and coming and coming. What's the transition been like going from MAF running on the road to MAF running on the trails? And I'm going to tell you, it was harder than I expected. It wasn't an easy transition. And it's not necessarily a transition that, if I looked back, I would have thought, let's just add this into my training. And I wouldn't do it too early, right? Like I would build up your aerobic base probably for a good, maybe at least 4 months, 4 to 6 months. Build that base and be really strict with it, right? Like if you're going to commit, you go all in, right? There's no ifs and buts. You go all in and you do MAF, and it will test your patience. I'll just tell you that. It will test your patience. And it's been testing mine for quite some time. With trail running, keeping your MAF pace right there, it's hard, guys, unless you walk. And even when you walk, it's still going to be hard, because when you walk up some of these hills, now look, this is Ontario, Canada. We don't have mountains. However, Ontario, we've got the Bruce Trail, and the Bruce Trail is pretty special. There's a lot of elevation gain in the trails. And so I found a place that I can get 600 meters. And I think that's like, how many feet, guys? I don't know, 1,200 feet maybe, something like that, of elevation gain that I can do on a run. And that's on an 18-kilometer run. So that's good for me. However, there was a couple of times where I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to walk. Or not just walk, but I think there's a couple of times where I'm gonna have to stop, because I was watching my heart rate and it was climbing. So yeah, it's been tough. I try to keep my MAF pace at 138. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing my best. However, I'm finding it a challenge going from road to trail. The higher temperatures and the humidity in addition to that. So that's been a little bit of an adjustment, trying to figure that out. And I promise you, right, I'm promising, it's pretty big. It's not like you're gonna come back and say, Dave, it didn't work. Look, it works. MAF works. Go out, do the work, be consistent, and up your mileage slowly, but up your mileage, because I find the higher your mileage is, not, to a point obviously, but I'm finding that as I hover around the 75 mile mark, anywhere from 60 to 75 miles seems to be a nice round number for me at the moment. Will I get up to 100 miles on an average week? Maybe in time, but I'm working on just keeping the 75, and I think that's kind of a good number. If you go out and decide, hey, I'm going to go run, 25 kilometers, and you haven't really run more than 5 kilometers before, that's a really big stress on your body. Your volume should match your fitness of where you're starting at. Okay, slowly build up to it. If that means walking, to get your MAF at a base, then go out and walk. Question of the day. What has been your biggest challenge with MAF training? My biggest challenge was, actually I had a couple. One is I wanted to run. I didn't want to walk. It's the last thing I wanted to do. So overcoming in my head what I needed to do to stay committed to seeing the results. That was one of the biggest things. The other challenge I had was consistency. How do I find the time to go ahead and make this thing work? We all have the same amount of hours in a day. See my heart rate right now, going up this hill, is 133. I don't know the grade yet. We can look on STRAVA later. So we all have the same amount of hours in the day. It's just about the priority on what you put on it, right? So if you don't have a big why, then you may have a big challenge as to why you're going to do this, right? So if your why is big enough, why the heck am I doing this? You will be successful. If you don't know why you're doing this, you'll look at it and go, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to do it. And just leave it at that. Now, one of the things that you can see from some of the clips is it takes time to get the results that you're looking for, right? Nothing happens overnight. You didn't get to where you are today in one day. You didn't get there in a week. It's taken you a lifetime to get to where you are in your fitness or lack of fitness or your eating habits, whatever it is, right? Like I remember when I weighed 266 pounds, I felt awful. It was not a good feeling. My joints ached. My skin was awful. My eyes were all puffy. My whole face was puffy. It was not a good time for me. So sometimes, you hit that wall and you go, that's it. I can't continue to do what I've been doing all these years. Something's got to give, right? And it starts with this, right? It starts with this, the thing in the mind, right? It's a little seed of change that needs to happen. So if I didn't make the change, who knows where I would be, okay? And I mean that honestly. It was not a good time for me. However, I did, and I started running and it was great, and then I burned out and then it wasn't so good, and then I got injuries, and it just was not fun, right? I've been training for 8 months. Slow and steady. Frustration with walking. Frustration with slowness. When I started, I wanted to throw in the towel so many times. However, I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. Because I have had a breakthrough in my running. So I was able to go under 5 minutes. That's insanity. After 8 months, I thought it would never happen. However, the day has arrived. So there's too many people out there that want instant gratification, instant results. Here's the thing, you're not gonna get them. You're not gonna get that instant result. This is like 3,000 kilometers of hard work. 3,000 kilometers of ups and downs. 3,000 kilometers of, is this ever gonna work? If I gave up all the times I thought that it was too hard, I would have never gotten to where I am. So my message to all of you guys is the following. The journey and the patience is the breakthrough. Doing what you love and making it all count matters. Being where you are in your ability is where you are, and that's okay. You put in the consistent mileage, nice and slow, you will get there, and you will have those results. Better results, if you want to have quicker results, then you would want to train at your max. Now, it's still going to take time, but you may get there faster than if you were training at, let's say, if I was training at 128 or 130. Now that I've said all of that, if you are struggling to stay at MAF, if you're struggling, if you power walk and you're walking, like power walking, and your heart rate's up to like 120, and I don't even know what your now, for everybody that's struggling just to walk and keep your heart rate down, you're gonna have to stay there for a while, right? Just walk it out, right? Just power walk. And if you're power walking, like if I power walked and my MAF is 138, and if I was power walking and my power walking was close, it was like 120, and then if I decided to run, and all of a sudden within a couple of minutes I'm shooting past my 138, I would spend more time just hiking and walking. If you are finding that you are not progressing, just take a look what the flippin' temperature is. The temperature right now for me is about 38 Celsius right now. And I'm walking, my heart rate is fluctuating between 128 and 133. So don't be hard on yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't be hard on yourself, because training in the heat, it's crazy. Your body is under so much stress, right? So if you live in a climate where it's really, really hot, man, you may have to go out early in the morning before the sun comes out. because you will not, I guarantee you, you will not see any improvements when the temperature is as hot as it is right now. Yeah, it's like heart rate is 133, guys, look. Right? I'm just flipping transparent. And that's what it is, man. And am I pissed that I have to walk right now? Yeah, because I want to run. However, you have to have integrity, right? You have to have, it's down in 130 now. You have to have integrity. And saying that you're going to do something and sticking with it, man, that's just the way it is for me. So don't be pissed off. Be grateful that you can walk. Be grateful that your heart is beating. Okay, that was just like really gross. Okay, just be grateful, because there are some people who can't do this. They can't walk, right? They're sick. They've got whatever disease they have, whatever illness. So just be grateful for what you have. When the weather gets cooler, you will see a transcending of your training. You will be faster. Stick with it. Don't give up, right? Don't give up. Don't expect all kinds of wonderful things when the flipping temperature is as hot as it is right now. Just don't, right? Be kind to yourself. Just go out, do what you can. If you can't run, walk, power walk, right? If you can't power walk, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, call your buddy to come pick you up in a car. So if you're just kind of starting out on this MAF journey, first off, you're going to be frustrated because it's summer and you're working really hard and you're trying to shuffle along. You're doing all of these things and you're going, oh my gosh, like, am I ever going to be able to get faster? Well, here's the thing. Yes, you will, and you will get faster. You have to stick with it. Consistency is the key. I'm telling you straight out, you got to stick with it. Up your mileage, slow and steady, right? The more that you can get your mileage up to the 6 hour and 7 hour and 8 hour mark a week, it can really, really make a difference, and you can have that breakthrough. But don't despair only because it's hot outside and you're like, I'm never going to be able to get any faster, yada, yada, yada. That's self-talk, right? That's self-negative talk. You're better than that. You can achieve more than you think you can. And at the end of the day, it really is a race of one. And that's you. So I know that you can do it. Stick with it. Put in the mileage. Put in the time, right? Put in the dedication to what it is you want to achieve, and you will achieve it. But don't let the temperature just beat you down, right? Don't allow that to happen, because it's going to suck it away from you. It's going to take that dream away from you, and you're going to give up. Don't allow it to do that, right? Negative self-talk is the worst thing that you can do. We can talk ourselves out of anything. Don't allow it to happen, because if you want something, you got to work for it, right? I don't mean run faster. I mean run at your MAF pace, run smartly, rest when you need to rest, eat healthy, sleep well, reduce the stress in your life, right? These are things that will get you to where you need to go. But the temperature, guys, the temperature is the temperature. It doesn't matter, right? You can't control that, but you can control a lot of other things, okay? Okay, so get out there and run.
Trying to find some balance in